Welcome back, our dear viewers. That was our live coverage for President Abdel Fattah Sisi witnessing the inauguration of the first phase of the harvest season of Egypt's future projects for sustainable development. The project stretches along the road Al-Farag, New Dab'a Road. Egypt's future is slated to be a boost for agriculture in Egypt and is the early offshoot of the New Delta project for achieving the self-sufficiency in food for Egypt. The New Delta is also developed with an aim of achieving sustainable development, exporting surplus of production, helping decrease imports and boosting hard currency savings. The inauguration ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, General Commander of the Armed Forces General Mohamed Zaki, and several other ministers and slated officials.
بعد كده بيبتدي يخش تفريغ عشان يبتدي.
Indeed, the Future of Egypt agricultural project is considered the first project under the New Delta project to achieve self-sufficiency and export the surplus, as the targeted area for reclamation is 1,050,000 fidans of the total New Delta project that covers an area of 2.2 million fidans. More details.
The Future of Egypt agricultural project is considered the first project under the New Delta project to achieve self-sufficiency and export the surplus, as the targeted area of reclamation is 1,050,000 fidans of the total New Delta project that covers an area of 2.2 million fidans. President Abdel Fattah Sisi inaugurated Egypt's Future project for agricultural production, which is one of the state's most important major national projects. In April 2017, President Sisi gave directives on the immediate implementation of Egypt's Future project for agricultural production to provide high-quality agricultural projects at reasonable prices for citizens and to export the surplus abroad so as to reduce imports, provide hard currency, and achieve sustainable development goals. The reclaimed area is 1,050,000 fidans out of a total of 2.2 million fidans, the total area of the New Delta. The project aims at maximizing production opportunities, providing high-quality agricultural products at reasonable prices to citizens, bridging the gap between production and importing and achieving food security and self-sufficiency in strategic commodities, providing about 10,000 direct job opportunities and more than 360,000 indirect job opportunities. It is expected that employment opportunities will increase during the coming seasons. It is located along the road to the new Road Al-Farag Al-Dab'a axis, the road that was established under the National Road Project with a length of 120 kilometers and a depth of 60 to 70 kilometers. It is located 30 minutes away from the 6th of October city. The project was divided into equal parts. Each part is 1,000 acres.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, to shed light about this very important inauguration, the inauguration of the first phase of the harvest season of Egypt's Future project for sustainable development. We are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohamed Ali Fahim, advisor to the Minister of Agriculture. Good afternoon to you, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. Thank you.
Dr. Fahim, the Egypt Future project is actually one of the national projects undertaken by the state as an ambitious national project in the field of agricultural production within the state strategy to maximize the production opportunities inherent in the field of land reclamation and agricultural project in Egypt's Vision 2030. What's your take on that, sir?
Before we can talk about the view all the Egyptian and all the world see today in the desert. Desert is huge desert from 1,000 years before. But in beginning, let us also know that the agriculture sector in Egypt has been facing chronic local challenges since long time. The most important of which is the limited agriculture area, water scarcity, increased demand and consumption for food due to the increasing population growth.
Yes.
And this is what made in Egyptian state seriously think about storming the desert and paying hundreds of billions of pounds in establishing a strong infrastructure for land reclamation and horizontal expansion in deserts that have not been trampled by a food before. This is at a time when the world loses millions of hectares of cultivated land annually due to drought, desertification, climate change, etc. For that, on this national project is again new Delta project, the northwest of the country, with an area of 2.2 million acres, and at the heart of its future of Egypt project, with an area of more than 1 million acres. And that's the view again, the greenest desert. All the Egyptians see this view and picture today.
Indeed. Doctor, actually the Egypt Future Project for Agricultural Production comes to represent an added value to the series of national projects undertaken by the state in that field, which has become one of the major developmental projects that receives great attention from the political leadership and falls within the framework of the giant national projects in New Delta. Can you tell us more about the achievements done lately in that project till now?
Okay, when we talk about the achievement of done lately, depend on the project of Egypt's future, a set of acts and policies has been developed to achieve the greatest degree of food security in Egypt. And the most important of these acts is the implementation of major national projects as the Egypt Future Project related to the agriculture in the broad concept. Especially horizontal expansion projects to increase the agricultural area by more than 4 million faddans, where nearly 2 million of these were cultivated already. Projects with an average productivity of 30 million tons of agriculture products, especially strategic crops, contributed significantly to the strengthening the food security system in Egypt.
Yes. Sir, as you have kindly mentioned, now that Egypt's future is actually slated to be a boost for agricultural Egypt and is the early offshoot of the New Delta project for self-sufficiency in food for Egypt. To what extent this project is representing a breakthrough to achieve the food security for Egypt?
In a general view, you know, the expansion pillar of adding more land to the agricultural lands in Egypt is placing the horizontal axis among the priorities to the support to the food security system due to its achievement of many pillars, such as increasing the agricultural area with the use of modern technology, and this is a very important point, the modern technology and agriculture, because we need latest technological aspects for the agriculture sector. Number two, raising the percentage of self-sufficiency in agriculture commodities and achieving relative food security. Number three is raising the efficiency of the use of natural resource, of course, because the high technology of using the mechanization and the water saving make efficiency of use natural resource, of course, land and water units, increase export and maximize the added value of agricultural products. The last is establishing agro-industrial complexes. As we see today, silos and some factories like sugar factories and other food factories, linking agriculture and manufacturing, trade and the services, make it strengthening the access of inclusive and balanced development. And already it makes job creation and population redistribution in that area.
Doctor, do you believe that establishing joint grain silos to preserve wheat production within the project is a pioneering experience that has already been achieved?
Of course, the government is talking about firm measures to secure the stock of strategic goods, especially the strategic crops like wheat, like corn, through the expansion of storage capacities, through the national silos project to reach the storage capacity of more than 3.4 million tons. Unlike other capacities available in Agriculture Bank of Egypt and other entities, which reaches the capacity to more than 5.5 million tons. And this increase in storage capacity is currently being used to support the activation of contract farming for corn, soybeans, and other crops. So it's very important to secure the needs of Egyptian state of strategic crops.
Yes. Also, sir, the new delta is developed within an aim of achieving sustainable development, exporting surplus of production, as well as helping increase the imports and boosting the hard currency savings. To what extent you do believe that with this very important and massive projects we could reach these very important targets?
Look, we know the cultivate of desert is a very difficult issue.
Indeed.
Because it's very high for the costs, and it's difficult because it's pure desert without water, without infrastructure. To the state, the Egyptian state here, do the piece for the reclaiming more land, not only in North Egypt as in Delta, Great Delta area, but in everywhere. In Egypt, you can find national projects for expansion of land, to add more land to our land. You know, we have a very big problem because we have a water scarcity. We don't have enough water to add more land. So it's very important to make like integration between all the pillars as in one project. Today we heard from the president, our president, that Egypt now go with a very big project as a Egyptian project. Greening the desert is the Egyptian project for not for today, but for next decade of time.
Of course. Yes, as you have kindly mentioned, sir, that the President today mentioned that there is a shortage of water and irrigation system should be upgraded instead of the old systems, and he added that the water sufficiency is a huge challenge with increasing population as well as the refugees coming in Egypt. To what extent these challenges could be overcome in the coming phase in order to reach our targets here?
The water is the big issue. The water, not in Egypt, not for the history, for the life of people in everywhere. The water is the issue and the big issue. So our president today talk about the water.
Indeed.
The water here, we need to change our approach for the agriculture production.
Yes.
It's not the land productivity; it is the water productivity.
Yes.
How much water you need to produce 1 ton of wheat, for example. So the efficiency of water use is the title of all the government action for all the plans. Our president today talk about the water and water issue, and we see all the projects the state country done already with the water with a very high cost. It's like 190 billion Egyptian pounds. It's very big amount of money.
Yes.
It's not for now, it's for the next generation.
Of course.
All this project it's towards to the next generation.
Yes, sir, the President also mentioned that he will inaugurate a factory for center pivot irrigation to save cost and provide job vacancies. How that is important as well?
you know, all the area cultivated in desert irrigated by modern irrigation system. No surface irrigation in this area, in that area. So, and our president already talk about we don't need only pivot system. Pivot system is a very good for the modern irrigation system, but no, we need another system to like make a maximize of use of water, of unit of water. So it's very important now. It's like a topic for the research center, for the research nation centers to find by science what is the suitable method to use water as a maximized water use efficiency. Not only pivot, but we have to try to find another system, because again, the water is a big issue for Egypt.
Of course.
Water is a big issue for agriculture.
Yes, also the President reiterated that the state provides the private sector with projects for management, with receiving fair price for these projects during the offerings. To what extent here, as the President mentioned, that the state is having huge partnerships with the private sector and increasing the role of the private sector as well, and to what extent this is beneficial for the state as well?
Look, already we add like 4 million faddan. 4 million faddan, it means 1.7 million hectares.
Yeah.
As a new land in the desert. From not long time, from like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, all the reclamation issues is related with the private sector, and the cost is very high for the private sector. Now, it is the first time in Egypt history in agriculture, the government, the state now cover all the infrastructure of reclamation process, all the cost of infrastructure. The one faddan now costs like 300,000 pounds. Yep. It means 1 million faddan. It's like 30 billion pounds. It's sorry, 300 billion pounds. It's very. It's like too much money. It's a big amount of money for the private sector. Now the partnership is very easy for the private sector, because the private sector now can go directly to the cultivate process, to establish the crops pattern, but the infrastructure costs, it's now the state already covered this issue.
Yes. Sir, how do you view establishing industrial zones to serve the new delta, such as the sugar factory that produces 1,848,000 tons and other agricultural products as well?
Okay. You know, it's not only the agriculture as in past. Now the agriculture, as in view of our president, is integration agriculture, integration production system. It's like not only agriculture, but also establishing industrial zones. For that, and because the Egyptian agriculture commodities have many competitive advantages that enable them to access various markets, especially fruit, vegetable, etc. States now aim to increase export of agricultural products and expand agricultural processing, especially in large production crops, and expand the other crops that suit the nature of the challenges. For that, all the national projects in Egypt now, it has like integration projects as cultivation, agriculture, processing, livestock policy, and all the activities related to the agriculture sector.
Indeed. Sir, as you have kindly mentioned that many factories are going to be established in order to increase the production of the agricultural projects. To what extent we could use that to fulfill our needs and also start to export these production for the world, and to save also foreign currencies from these agricultural industrial projects?
Okay, you know the manufacturing rates of Egyptian agricultural products are still below ambitious for the last few years.
Yes.
The recent period has witnessed an important development in this field, as many of the latest technological agricultural processing units have been established, and perhaps the development is witnessed by the sugar industry, for example, to decrease the gap between production and the consumption of sugar, and of course the other manufacturers of food processing like frozen and the dried vegetable industrials are the best evidence of the development achieved during this period. All the private sector now find a very good chance because there are a raw material as a crop, processing crops, sugar and fruits, vegetables, and of course there are all the facilities is already existed there. Good roads and very close to the ports. So it's a good chance for the private sector, even it's national or international private sector to go there to invest for the manufacturing of food industry.
Yes. Sir, what are the most important factories that were established in order to have production for the agricultural projects in that area, and what more are we expected to witness in the coming phase?
Okay, now you see that it's very big areas of fruits and vegetables, potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, and of course we have like fava beans, and even the wheat and the maize. So it's and the sweet potatoes. There are manufacturers for sweet potato to produce shapes of sweet potato and the dried onion, dried garlic.
Yes.
So there are many products can be achieved in the manufacturing of agricultural products there in this area.
Yes. Sir, also today in his speech, the President said that the network of road aim at serving projects of Egypt's future of sustainable development. To what extent, from your point of view, this very important road network is serving the project?
You know, the country state make a large or a big part of the investment in the desert. The road networking and the infrastructure, the energy networking, even the transportation logistics, all this the country state cover the cost as a good as a big large of cost. So here I would like to point out that the agricultural sector in the Egyptian state has witnessed its strong support from the political leadership. Our president, during the past 10 years, due to the vital role played by the agricultural sector as a key pillar in the national economy, in addition to being considered one of the priority sectors within the structural reform phase. I want to say we believe in the Egyptian political leadership that he said, every citizen on the land of this great country has the right to obtain the needs of safe, healthy, and sustainable food.
Yes. Sir, also the President asserted that the state is seeking to provide jobs through projects of low revenues. So the Egyptian leadership is really keen on providing job opportunities, and that is through the projects of low revenues. What's your take on that?
Look, if you look into the map of national projects of desert reclamation, you will see, as we mentioned before, it's not only in North Egypt, the northern part of Egypt or the southern part, but in everywhere you can find national projects for agriculture area. It's very close to the valley and delta, and very close to the governorate, especially in Upper Egypt. You know, in Upper Egypt, they need to be achieved the new jobs for people, especially for your people, they need to see a suitable job for the people there. So all the projects, and because integration projects is not only agriculture but agriculture processing and etc. So it's very good very good chance for people and especially for youth to find suitable jobs with very good return for the people there.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Mohamed Ali Fahim, advisor to the Minister of Agriculture. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious input, and always a pleasure to have you with us, sir. And Egypt's future projects for agricultural production, the dream of reclaiming the desert, has become a reality. Growing demand for fresh and processed fruits and vegetables has enabled Egypt to solidify its presence in quality-conscious markets in Europe, the Gulf, and sub-Saharan Africa. However, the smallholder farmers in Upper Egypt, which benefit from the fertile soil, good water quality, and early growing season, have been slow to exploit these trends. And now we'll know more about this in the following story.
Growing demand for fresh and processed fruits and vegetables has enabled Egypt to solidify its presence in quality-conscious markets in Europe, the Gulf, and sub-Saharan Africa. However, smallholder farmers in Upper Egypt, which benefits from fertile soil, good water quality, and an early growing season, have been slow to exploit these trends. They hesitate to transition from low-margin traditional crops into higher-value premium culture production. Barriers range from fragmented supply chains and unfavorable financing to inefficient transport and logistics systems. Additionally, climate change has introduced temperature and weather variability that will increase the risk of invasive pests. A longer growing season can also have negative impacts by reducing crop yields and nutritional qualities, threatening food security. Egypt's climate will face higher damaging temperatures and lower rainfall over key agricultural areas, requiring urgent adaptation investments. According to the International Food Policy Research Institute, yields for food crops are projected to decline by 10% by 2050 due to higher temperatures and water stress, as well as increased salinity of irrigation water. Given Egypt's high vulnerability to the impacts of climate change, investments in climate change adaptation in the agriculture sector is essential. The project will benefit small farmers and Egypt's industry as a whole through these interventions.
Our dear viewers, that was our coverage for the inauguration of the first phase of the harvest season of Egypt's future project for sustainable development, which was inaugurated earlier today by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And stay tuned for more coverage throughout the day. I'm Mahis Rabia, signing off for now.
أنا لما باجي أتكلم